It's Maggie, and I am back today with another video talking about a personal experience of mine way back in the day when I first got my ostomy. If you are new to this channel and you have no idea what I'm talking about, I am a person who has lived with Crohn's disease, an autoimmune disease, meaning my body attacks my intestines, and I've been living with that for a really long time. It got bad enough to the point where I had to give my colon a break, and now I live with an ostomy bag. So my small intestine comes through the wall of my abdomen and I wear a bag! But on this channel, I talk about all of my experiences with the disease, but also how I live despite it. So this story is going to be about the time that I was 16 years old and got a bed sore, aka a pressure injury. Pressure injuries are no joke. If you go onto Google Images and type that in, you will see very scary stuff. But the funny thing about it is they are very easily prevented. Pressure injuries happen when a bony prominence, such as elbow or sacrum or the back of the head here, the occiput, is lying on a surface for a long amount of time, not being moved, and the skin starts to break down and you wind up getting sores. They are staged based on how severe they are, how deep they go, and it is very interesting stuff if you're into that kind of gross skin thing like I am. So when I was getting my ostomy, it was pretty traumatic. It was not a planned surgery. I first went in for the resection, wound up failing, wound up having peritonitis, so all of the stuff that was in my intestines wound up being outside of my intestines, just kind of hanging out in my abdominal cavity, and they had to go in pretty far and clean me out with a hose and create the ostomy. So obviously after surgery, I was not moving around too much. I actually don't remember the first few days after surgery. I had family say that they visited me and I have absolutely no recollection of it. They say that I was sitting up, talking to them, having full conversations, and they're totally wiped gone. So it was a pretty rough time, and obviously I was not running laps around the unit because I was not feeling too good. I was lucky though to have some really great pain in the ass nurses who wanted me to get up and walk every second that I could. And of course, I was a brat, like I'll admit it, I was a total brat, and I did not want to get up and walk, and I would complain every time, but the nurses and my dad were both pushing me to, like, you know, get up, get going. So I did as much as I could, but I wound up being pretty sick and on a lot of pain meds, so it was a little bit difficult and a little bit dangerous. So because my mobility was not as good as it should be, I wound up getting a pressure injury. You may know it as a bed sore. And to be honest, I did not know that I had one. I could not feel it. I kind of had a lot of pain going on in other places, and I was also on a lot of pain meds. So I had no idea it was back there until a nurse turned me over and did a skin assessment on me and found this thing. I'd show you where it is, but I'm pretty sure this video would be taken down if I did. So on my sacrum, on my back, like my tailbone area, that's where it started, and it wound up being pretty deep, enough that it would have to be packed with some gauze and, you know, have a nice little dressing on there. And they wound up doing a lot of padding on my tailbone. Unfortunately though, even though they caught it and they were able to, you know, pack it and heal it up, it did scar over. So now I still have that scar. The scar is not huge, but it's pretty decent. The section that they had to pack is kind of like, let's say like maybe that big. But then it kind of trails downward in between the cheeks. So I have a lovely scar, but luckily nobody can see it. I think because I have an ostomy and I have surgical wounds as well as, you know, pressure injury wounds, I think that's why I have such an interest in wound care and why I would like to be a wound nurse. But yeah, it's definitely something I wish I had taken action and prevented a little more. Obviously, I wasn't feeling good and I didn't have the knowledge of that. I wasn't really thinking about that at the time, but it can happen so easy. Definitely older adults who have mobility issues, who might not be safe to walk, are at higher risk, and they may have other health risk factors that make it more likely for them to have pressure injuries. You don't really look at the 16-year-old teenager girl who is coming in for her first surgery as somebody at risk, but I was, and I wound up with a pretty bad one. So it's something to think about when you, either if you are a patient or if you are a caregiver in the hospital. It's definitely something to think about preventing if you can. Definitely getting up off of a bed is a great way, just walking around, just to relieve pressure on different spots of the body, even sitting up in a chair, using pillows or whatever else to assist in alleviating your bony parts. By the way, guys, if you're seeing this giant bruise, I fell down the stairs. I'm really clumsy, so ignore that. But yes, there are multiple ways, and if you are hospitalized, your nurse should be educated on how to help you prevent pressure injuries on yourself. But yeah, I thought I would tell you guys about the time that a 16-year-old wound up with a bed sore. You don't think it would happen, but it's me, so it did. If you guys are interested in more vloggy type videos, I have another channel where I'm putting more of that stuff. I have a little bit of things about me getting married. It's not happening yet, but it's coming. So if you're interested in that, I will link the channel below. And if you like this video, please subscribe and hit the little bell, because that'll tell you when I upload another video. And guys, I know that I have been posting on my Instagram about my recent scopes being done, and I have a plan for videos. I'm going to do a little bit of a series so that way I can go more into depth. So those will be coming earlier in July. That's what I'm going to say. Early July is when I'm going to be starting to upload them. I just want to make sure that I have all the results and the whole plan before I talk about it. So look out for that, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.